Welcome to a lot of help with James Lott Jr. I'm James Lott Jr. and I got asked this question the other day, actually a couple times. How do you handle a bad interview? Meaning, I'm interviewing somebody and it's not going well. There's no chemistry between us, like in terms of question and answer. That I really giving much? Either they're too nervous or just not giving it to you, whatever. You're realizing this is just not. You can tell it's not good, or you're not on top of your A game. So I'm going to tell a couple of scenarios and things that happen for me sometimes. Like I've done a million interviews, so it's good for hosts, anybody just watching the show, whatever. So, but not interview for a job, but interview if you're interviewing somebody. So for me, I'm very fortunate. For the most part, I've had really good interviews. Um, but it does happen. You do so many. There's some are just not the greatest. I have not always been the greatest. There's a couple of times where I went in so hard. I was so ready and excited, and I'm going to do this, and I'm excited for the interview. And I was just too overzealous. I was too over prepared, meaning I was just like, I had all my notes and everything. I'm like, okay, we're going to talk this up. We're going to do it. And you just kind of go, I think I'm talking too fast, or I'm just like overpowering the conversation, or I'm too giddy, excited. Like it ruins the interview. And sometimes I'll recognize it in the middle of my interview. I just have to go, okay, we ride this out and then end the interview. And there's times where I've interviewed shorter and sooner because I've done that too. I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. I need to like get out of this. That's the beauty of if you don't have a set time. When you have a set time, I've had a couple of those where I was getting one word answers. I had one guy who had his shades on the whole first half. And I was just giving one word answers. And I was just like, I was ready to end the interview. And I said something, I said, let me try something. It was years ago. And I said, you got that handsome face behind those glasses. I'm sure the fans would love to see your eyes for a little bit. For some reason, he did that and he loosened up, and we had a great second half of the conversation. I've had people who tell me they were just nervous, and you can tell because they're just like staring at you. You get people who will sometimes there are people who will talk too much, and you're like, I got to rein them in, I got to rein them in. Then you got folks who don't talk enough. Either way, they both are not great. But I almost take somebody who talks too much than somebody who doesn't talk at all. They ask a question, blah, blah, blah. You're like, ugh. I had someone once tell me, I really can't comment on that or something. I was like, you can't comment on that. That's what? I understand. So it's yeah, it can be really tough. So I'm looking at I guess some of these things. Say goodbye. Um, it can be really tough. I've had people come in. I have one interview I still don't watch. That the person was antagonistic, had their own. They had an agenda, which they all have agendas, but they were ready to push that agenda so heavily that they were talking over me. Not let me get the questions out. They were just so I asked them a question that was like I didn't answer it. Not they wouldn't answer the question, they would answer something. They would just talk about something else. And because their agenda, they had a script. That too. I understand some folks ask me for questions ahead of time, some don't. Now my sacred so that's fine. But I'm very conversational. My best interviews are we're just us talking. Whether it's two people, three people, one person, we're having a conversation. I'm because my thought is I'm talking about you and your work. I try to talk to you. So what I do is when I get on, usually beforehand, I try to soften everybody up. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? So good to see you. You look great. You sound great. Like all of that. A little chit chat beforehand. I have a segment called Five Random Questions that I'll do with people sometimes. And I'm sorry. And my shoe is coming loose. There you go. And that usually loosens people up sometimes too. They're like, "Oh, that was so much fun." They're like, "Okay, well now to do the interview." I try my best. And then people get on, and whatever that red light goes on. Now recording somebody, whether it's in the studio or not, doesn't matter. Some people just, I guess, freeze up, and I feel bad for folks that freeze up because I know talking is not easy. And there's sometimes there are folks, if it's their job, they can talk about it all day long. They have no problem. You ask them any personal question outside of that, they freeze up. and they're afraid. And I understand, I get it, but they said it happens too. You got to change the pivot, or you ask a question and they have no answer for it. You think that's a great question, and they're like, "Oh, it's not me," or whatever. I'm good. You're like, "That's it." So I keep disappearing until I reach down my foot. I'm like, "Oh my god." Um, or I have two different types where somebody I remember one girl, Beth Hall, who was on Mom at the time. She's a great actress, really funny. She was like 45. Cause I had a set time, 45 minutes. We're gonna talk about 45 minutes about me. I said, "Don't worry, I can do it." And it was an hour. We had to end it. She's like, "Oh my god, you did do it!" I had the best time. I said, "I don't know how to do this." But she was in it with me. We had a great chemistry. I asked her some really good questions. She gave really good responses that we helped each other. It's a helping each other out. I've done the opposite where I'm trying to stretch it for like even 20, 30 minutes. And just like, I'm like, okay, I'll just end the show. I'll quietly just be like, okay, everybody, thanks for being on the show, blah, blah. And I don't let them know anything. But doing interviews, especially when it's conversational, it's a give and take. And it's a dance. I'm talking, then you're talking, and I'm talking, then you're talking. And it's kind of, we're feeding each other's energies. And, and there's some folks who just have the best stories. And there's some folks you're like, they're kind of dry in real life, but then when they get on, you're just like amazed. Then you have folks who seem dynamic off screen, off camera, off mic, and then I put them on, and they're not dynamic at all. And I know for some people, I'll make sure I say before people start writing me. I know for some people, everybody is concerned with their image, meaning how they look on camera, how they come across on camera. There is all that, but I will tell you, it's the more seasoned people. I'll say that people of a certain age, we've been in business for a while. There's so much more. They're just relaxed about it. They know the ins and outs of it. But I have met some newbies who are very suave too. So, but most of the time for me, if the interview is going bad, and I can tell on whoever's fault it is, mine or theirs, I'll try to end the interview. I'll just go, okay, I look at the time and go, okay, we did 25 minutes or 20 minutes. That's good. We got some content out of it. That's fine. I'm a mass producer. So one interview doesn't make my channel. So I'm very fortunate. I mean, like some people, they do one interview a week or one interview a month, and that's their big thing. No, I got 90 shows. So I do it. So I want to the next thing. So I promote it and put it out there. So if there's some videos out there I'm not the proudest of, I'm like, oh, they're okay. I don't worry. And here's what's crazy. Some of the shows that I've done, I'm like, do really well, obviously. Like, why is that getting thousands of downloads? Like, why is that, you just got you. So you just never know. You never know anything, And but it's all about being professional. I would never bring a guest on camera. I would never try to make them feel uncomfortable. That just will never. I just won't do that. That's just not something I'll do. So, but it's a delicate dance, folks. Definitely. There's a couple of interviews out there I will never look at again because I'm just like, I don't like the way I'm coming across, or I just nope. Well, watch them. They're much older videos, and my style has gotten better and better because I've done enough of these videos. So I know that most of the time it's not me. But I have had my moments. Too much coffee one day, not enough coffee one day. I've done shows where I showed up and I'm like, that wasn't my best, James. That was decent. I could do it, but I'm like, that was not. I could have done way better than that, So that happens to you. ALottaHelp.com is the website. A lot of help on Facebook. I'm always sharing things with you guys, sharing tips and things. Like, why not? So you know what's going on. We're here on Tuesdays. Talk to you next time.